Should a murderer go to jail for murdering?
Absolutely.
Should a thief go to jail when he steals?
Absolutely.
Should a robber pay back the money he robbed?
Absolutely.
So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did?
That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacles set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home. Only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting. The trail of my tears is countless. The fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Cracking the sky, nuclear missiles will make it official. I'm capturing every crack and surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be. Slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage and safe on the streets. Put the dog on a leash. Get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom, we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
Look, ain't no remorse in my bloodstream. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I'm back gonna be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in his body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Von Dale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is dish served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in the world of mad shooters. There was designed fire for our babies to pass through it. In the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new pair of bellows.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
Seriously, you're looking for a Christ man, one who anointed with the Lord, with the Spirit of the Lord, to do his will. I'm that nigga.
One West, 125th Street. Look, y'all put y'all faith in presidents like they gon' change this country. Run the league and let y'all play, cause y'all gon' make them money. Fuck Obama, he ain't come here on Congo.
American honor don't like no soldiers. For the spirit of the Lord, we don't like no soldiers.
Black, Hispanic, Native, they hate y'all as the same. Hate Christ and they image, hate you as a slave. God ain't all love, scripture say you hate. African soft niggas, they know we not the same. School to prison pipeline to get you off the streets. Put you in the cell, toilet connected to the sink. Molested as a kid, she prostituted as a teen. The byproduct of Martin Luther King dream. They just took the yoke off, my nigga, we ain't free. We live in bleak in these wastelands of poverty. If you don't know the truth, then the lies sound promising. Prophecy, gift and the curse. Dylan started killing, they was sitting in church. Black folk forgave him, man, this shit is absurd. You should never love your enemy, that shit ain't gonna work. Yeah, fuck dying on your knees, you better die in glory. Man, I joined the UPK, taught me the art of warring. I took a nigga life like mine to be recognized. I feel that pain every day, it can't be reconciled. Pops banging, my sister a prostitute. My brother got life, and somehow I still found the truth. Raw ready, no cowards, no excuse. Fuck reparations, you can't bandage no open wounds. Blood on the leaves, body swing hung from a noose. I was on a running Nashville and I found the truth. I called the school, classes being held by the shock on my life. I want to be a gangster like a cop. Do this for my brothers, real brotherhood. Everything we do, we got it out this book. My nigga, I can never be no African. UPK the only authorized acronym. I'm passionate about my brothers and sisters. We in hell, I ain't got nothing against them. That's another religion. If it ain't under your honor, ain't be murdered by them and got a hug from your honor. That's the way out for a coward in my observation. They don't fear the Lord, they indoctrinated. Wolves in sheep clothing, Joe Osteen. Real priests bringing back black royalty. One West on my headpiece, ranking order. Can't let them trick me off the streets, I gotta raise my daughter. I got brothers at the border ducking ICE agents. I got the name change, it was life changing. My family thought it was a game, put on all black, they said I was going through a phase. It's more of us in jail than it was slaves. Chose.
Aquí somos la Escuela Israelita del Conocimiento Práctico Universal. Hoy estamos aquí.
Forma da General Johanna na ISUPK.
This is what Commander General Yohana did. This is what he did.
First camp, I cut off all my dreads. I took an oath when that oil hit my head. Niggas capping like they lids. I'm a priest, I never stick no fork in no pig. I was dead till I found out how to live. This brotherhood taught me how to be a man. I came back to my roots, I had to dig. A couple gaps I had to bridge. I got a rib, I'm married to this work. You wanna serve the Lord, he ain't in the Christian church.
That's right.
You know how we do it, Commander General Yana, feeding the people, down here in Trinidad. You see what's going on with the rain right now and condition of the people right now is real bad. So again, big ups Commander General Yana, for all, the work that put in over the years, that we could raise up, young black men down here in Trinidad and we could do the same as well in his footsteps. Let me get up. right? But we want to give all the people so that people can come back and get the access to the clinic, right? So, you can see the family with you. Okay, let's come to the brother there and give you. So you can come in one by one and right? Right? And just
Christ and fall up under that UPK banner. It's my brother and my blood, and I will die and kill for him if necessary. It's all about that warfare, boy. Back up, It's all about that warfare, boy. Take grip. My soldiers take grip till I'm stand down. Take grip. My soldiers take grip till I'm stand down. Take grip. Now this ain't no movement, this a takedown. We would not be moved or intimidated. We ain't the type. You got a problem? Tell them cross the fucking line. My niggas ain't polite. Soldiers to the left and right. I die for every man body. Before I be a coward, I'd rather be a dead body. This will be my kingdom when the hour pass. You can either get with it or get flipped like an hourglass. We live by honor and no excuse. Just sit to pray up to the Lord. I told you, then let all the terrorists loose. Hold your tongue or get rebuked, cause you made a truce. With a race that made merchandise, how to buy bills. Scared of who? You got your gun, then pull it. Me and my niggas start to argue, it's about who gon' bite the bullet. It gon' take round. Opponents better move slow. Attack dog for this truth, nigga, cool yo. Go to grip. It's all about that warfare, boy. Give grip. Back up. Give grip. It's all about that warfare, boy. Take grip. My soldiers take grip till I'm stand down. Take grip. My soldiers take grip till I'm stand down. Oh, thought you could cross us with no consequence, but you will pay dearly. You should've used your common sense. My zeal lit, that means you could never prevail. Hey, where the truth sit, hey, where warriors dwell. Be wise with the weapons, cause I promise. My nine just like my wife, she concealed, she modest. I know 2 things, a robber will not prosper. And any man harm me and my aunt gon' meet the doc. Cause this life is warfare, it's not an easy walk. Been watching my people die so you can miss me with that love talk. My UPK soldiers, any man try to cross your path, make him regret it. What that means? Fall on his age. Comparing me to you really ain't no contest. Lonely one west. Say what? Lonely one west. This for those who thinking we ain't ready for. Tell them back up. I'm about to drop something heavy for. Go to grip. It's all about that warfare, boy.
Right.
Yeah, Shalom Israel, give you a one in the chat room if you audio coming in, I'll give you a one in the chat room. Right, Shalom. Right. This is ISUPK Trinidad and Tobago, right? ISUPK started out of 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yana, right? And Prison Officer Swap Yala down here in Trinidad, right? Again, the ISUPK is not affiliated with no religious group or organization, right? Teach the truth according to these records. And again, the truth would always stand, right? I would comment through it. That's data. Right? You tell me if it's showing up, right? Live showing up, right? Right? Your phone, your phone, yeah. Right. So that, right? So again, Independence Day, right? You know, yesterday was, the day that, the Republic, or, the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, became, or recognized the day that they became independent, right? And the day of that independence was in what? 1919 or 62, right? So again, we will talk a little bit about it, and we do going a little history as well on the lead up to that day of independence, right? So yeah, you have it. Where is the independence, Sasha?
Trinidad gained independence from United Kingdoms.
Huh?
Yeah, Trinidad gained independence from United Kingdoms.
Say it over again.
Trinidad and Tobago gained independence from United Kingdoms.
And?
Or United Kingdoms.
And what?
United Kingdoms.
They gained independence from?
Yeah, United Kingdom.
From the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we go into that, I just have some little short history before, we go up to that, because now, leading up to this, right, in gaining that independence, right, over a period, all right, of the, how we say, transatlantic slave trade, or the Atlantic slave trade, approximately between, let me say, 1526 to 1967, some 12.5 million captured, right? Men, women, and children were put on ships, right, in Africa, right? And 10.7 million arrived in the Americas, right? So this, I just gain some short, again, a little short, brief history leading up to that time at independence, right? It's say, right? Right, so you jump in, yes, right? Say on August 1st, right? 1834, right? This is, the emancipation, right? The 1st of August was, where we say that Black people were, or I would say they like to say African people, and this is a reminder we are not Africans, right? We're emancipated, right? It said the British Parliament passed the Emancipation Act in 1833. It took effect on August 1st, 1834. The act ended legal slavery, but it introduced a system of apprenticeship. So keep in mind that word, right? Apprenticeship, right? So we see that same word apply today in, in an individual, seeking employment, right? They would give you that time where
you would have a period of time before, you know, let me say you get some sort of, let me say, what we call permanency, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Or some sort of, you know, leeway or head in the company, right? So you'd have that apprenticeship program before, you know, you're established or, you know, be brought into, you know, into that group, right? So that apprenticeship program would, you know, could be for that period of time. So imagine, as I say, this is just some short history, brief, right? Leading up to that time, right? So it's a, right? Well, for, right? The act ended legal slavery, right? So yeah, we say it ended what? Legal slavery, right? So it end up a passage in the records we talk about if you know I capture a person of the, you know, the own will, and you I just paraphrasing now, right? If you like take somebody, you know, from the land or for the own will, right? You know, it have a punishment for that. Now, think it all about. You check it out just now, right? So when we look at you know what take place, you know, at that time. Now, as I said, this apprenticeship program, it said it will formally, right, and with were formerly enslaved people were required to continue working for their former owners for several years. So you see how that apprenticeship program, you know, still stand before you know, get or be joined into that group. So a lot of people that would seek, let me say, permanency, what we call permanency, or, you know, a stable employment, right? They must go through the apprenticeship program first, right? And this program still stand even to the day, right? So, right, let's say in August 1st, right, 1838, right, full freedom, the apprenticeship system in Trinidad and Tobago, in Trinidad and the rest of the British West Indies proved to be another form of forced labor. So they recognize that, right? So despite you know, you going through that program, it was like forced labor. So if they say, well, slavery done away with, right? But you still have to work for the slave owner, right? And again, look up the what before you think that, let's look up the definition of independence, right? What is independence, right? 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 It says strong resistance and protest from the apprentice themselves, along with pressure from abolitionists, led to the early end of this apprenticeship period, right? So you know, it had a rebellion, you know, to that program, right? Right. So we moving on, right? So let's say, right? So we reach up to 1950s. I say the right, the most significant event in Trinidad and Tobago in 1950 was the general election held on September 18, right? The Butler Party emerged as the largest party, winning 6 of the 18 seats in the Legislative Council, right? It says General elections were held in Trinidad. Date September 18, 1950. Outcome, Butler Party became the largest party in the Legislative Council, winning 6 out of the 18 seats. Right? Voter turnout, right? 70% eligible voters participate in the election. Right? Right? So coming up now, right? It's a Independence Day in 1962, marking the key national emblem that represents the people hope for a better life through cooperation. Yes, let's look up. Right. Look up
What did the independent definition?
and right. Yeah, just read some small Wikipedia. And read that about Trinidad and Tobago Independence Day observe. Right. You have that? A lot of things I just say when you're doing it, when doing the little research on it now, right? Yeah, just read there. Read there. So that yeah. You get it?
Okay, just put Egg Williams.
Just read where put up, right? Right? Read where put up. Right.
But that two things there showing
Huh?
The time Independence Day, Trinidad and Tobago celebrate with the military style.
No, just read this. All the time this right. I'm gonna read it. The first Independence Day, right? Trinidad and Tobago gained independence from Great Britain on August 31st, 1962, right? At midnight on 30th August 1962, Union Jack British flag was lowered and the Trinidad and Tobago flag was raised for the first time, right? Go ahead.
Knowledge. The first Independence Day, the Trinidad and Tobago gained its independence from Great Britain on August 31st in 1962 at midnight on the 30th of August 1962. The Union Jack British flag was lowered at the Trinidad and Tobago flag was risen. From the first time, bells, toll, and sirens rang out to herald the birth of the newly independent nation. This first Independence Day was marked by more than a week of festivities and events across the country from August the 28th to September 5th, 1962.
So it mark our week celebration, right? Right. Right. So now we want to understand what is the Union Jack, right? It's say right the Union Jack is the flag. We know that the British flag, right? Right. It's say the flag consists of the red cross of St. George, right? The portion of St. of England edged in white, right? Read this. Look, let's read this. Read from this.
The origin
yeah. The thing fallen.
The origins of the flag date earlier flag of Great Britain, which was established in 1606 by a proclamation of King James VI of Scotland and England. The present design was established by an order in the Council following the Act of the Union 1801, which joined the Kingdom of Great Britain and the Kingdom of Ireland to the Great United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. It was changed following the succession of the Irish Free State in 1922. In sometimes asserted that the term Union Jack properly refers only to the naval usage, but this exoneration was dismissed by the Flag Institute in 2013 after historical investigation. The flag of the British overseas territories was well as certain sovereign states and regions, particularly in the Commonwealth that were previously British possessions incorporated in the Union Jack.
Right, that's all right. So you'll give it from it, right? Right. So yeah, we say in the Commonwealth, where the Commonwealth is located, right? We know that we say this Commonwealth is where? In the Caribbean, right?
Yeah, some of the Caribbean islands and other some other islands.
Right. So it be because now what they would have, you know, is some similar to their flag. Because remember now in gaining independence now, that flag would be no longer, you know, let me say, recognized as, you know, owned or recognized as, you know, this territory belongs to, let me say, to Great Britain anymore, right? This is why I say when they lower the flag, right, that gaining an independence now, right? It is like now you're on your own. You're on your own. But it have a part. Let me see go. Right? So right. So the flag of the British overseas territory as well, right, as sovereign states and regions, particularly right in the Commonwealth, that they were previously British possession, right? So a lot of these, as we say, territories would have, you know, as we say, the British flag flying, right? And if you notice, like let me say, use for example, yeah, the Commonwealth Games, right? You would see, you know, what flag would be, you know, as we say, heading these games, right? So you see all the different, as we say, the sovereign nations and them, right? But they would the British would always be recognized in the midst of all of them, or as the head of what? The Commonwealth. This is why now when we read, I believe when you read a little more now, it shows that how despite our being independent, we still under, you know, as we say, British sovereignty, right? So they still have a, you know, they still recognize with certain things or laws or whatever before certain things is being passed, right? For instance, you know, before, let me say, with the law, with the hangman law, right? It must go through the Supreme Court, I believe, in Britain before that act is being implemented, you know, in carrying out that judgment, right? So, right, that's all. So it's a, yeah, it's here, right? It's a that previously British possessions incorporate Union Jack into their own flag, right? Designs or have official flags that are derived from the Union Jack. Many of these flags are blue or red ensigns. What color the Trinidad flag have in it? And what? White. So, remember the Union Jack is red, white, and blue, right? But what they say now, the many of these sovereign, they incorporate, you know, or use part of that design in their flag. So again, the ISUPK under Commanding General Yang has been bringing out this truth since 1969. And, you know, we look at ourselves as, you know, being part of, you know, what we would say, we'd use the term nation. Trinidad and Tobago is my nation. What is it national? I Trinidadian. The only people here saying that is black people. Every other race or nation of people will recognize who they are, and recognize that the land that they are living in, right, is the land of their nativity. Right? I born here. That was hey, I born in Trinidad. My national, my residency, Trinidad. Right? As a resident of Trinidad and Tobago. Right? So now we must understand that, as the topic say, you know, Independence Day, a victory achieved. What again, Commander General Yana, you know, brought it out, you know, a couple of shows a week ago with, you know, these black leaders, right? Where they call the Big Six, and you see the effect of that trickling straight down through as we say through the Caribbean, right? And just as we understand, I said with the Commonwealth nations, now wherever you know the British had, you know, their foothold, and again this goes for all, you know, these other, as we say, these nations, right? And again, all oppressor, you know, as we say, or colonizer, just branch off in different format, and he being, you know, Spain, Portugal, these as we say, Dutch, they were still one family. As we say, this race of people, they were still one family. And they were just going around, as scriptures mentioned, that he was a cunning hunter. They would die who they would, and seeking to devour who, as we say, whatever territory they could gobble up. This is why, again, this Independence Day victory, a victory achieved, all press achieved, some so great that we today, even as we say, what take place with Independence Day this year in Trinidad? Would the Prime Minister mentioned that you know wasn't to take place?
Yeah. Say no Independence Day for it, but the girl nothing at all. People call it the prayer.
Go ahead. Tell me if you think I'm a clip it. I'm a clip it.
Yeah.
So she yeah the article on it, or you can pull it up. Right, see where you pull up on she the article where she said that, right? Prime Minister Independence Day speech or whatever, right? Let's read a little more, right? So it say, right, the British flag, right, the flag of British overseas territories, well as certain sovereign states and regions, particularly in the Commonwealth, that they were previously British possession, incorporate the Union Jack into their own flag design, or have official flags that are derived from the Union Jack. Many of these flags are blue or red ensigns with the Union Jack in the canton and the face within the distinguished arms of the territory. The governor of British overseas territories and Australian states, and the Australian states also have personal standings incorporated in the Union Jack. In their design, the flag continued to have official status In Canada, by parliamentarian resolution, where it is known as the Royal Union flag, right? So again, all these again is a lot of history that us as a people wouldn't recognize, right? And some articles. So it had a part where, leading up to that now, right? So just before 1962, right? I was going to read just a backdrop in the year before that. They say in 1961, right? The most historical significant event in Trinidad and Tobago was the general election on December 4th, 1961, which was a victory for Eric Williams, right, of the People's National Movement, and a crucial step towards the country's independence, right? The following year, the other significant event, including the first sitting of Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago, right, on December 29, 1961, making a move towards full parliamentarian democracy, right? Yeah, saw significant political discourse amplified by William's powerful, right? Right. So here was his speech, right? His speech was Massa de Don. You understand that? This is what led him to being victorious at that time. So in that time, being that why when what happened when it didn't have the face of, let me say, of a black person on this in this political party. What happened in the election going? A lot of people say was saying what? This is the last thing or the last straw that black people have. Now you take a different face and you put it, you give up that. A lot of people was saying that. And the people that are talking about black people, right? Again, we do, we're not involved with politics. So this is not any political ploy. This is a little history and a backdrop, and we're going to go back in our history, right? And we're going to read, as we say, when we define what independent is, and it will show you that black people, Hispanic people, and Native Indian people our independence was always a separate from these other nations. This is how you gain independence. This is how you gain, being that nation of your own. And we see this being demonstrated with who? With what? With China, with Russia, a lot of these, as we say, these other, nations or race of people, the Arabs, you see it. But when it comes to us, we, become the incorporation or being, let me say, merged into every demographic of this society, every race of people. We are the only one who is the, who this was pushed on, to join hands with everyone. And again, the general again went into it and give a clear description and enlighten, as you say, brothers and sisters were paying attention. It was so enlightened that you would see why all these, as we say, these time period of, or as we say, was set up during the crack epidemic, during the, as we say, the where they started push, let me say, the abortions in the, as we say, where the black woman would be independent. Again, everything was a step, and all of that coming up to the point where us, as we say, here in Trinidad, it was, as we say, to the bottom of this, as we say, trickling down at the chain. This family, these sons, we feel the effect of what took place when, as we say, men that failed to stand. I'm not talking about men, black men. I'm not talking about black, I'm talking about these 12 tribes that failed, to recognize what it means to be separated and not joined together with these other races or these other nations, right? And these were reminders unto us, right? So I'll read a little more, right? It say, right? Master this speech, right? Secure in 20, right? Want to get this part, right? So what the with his watchwords, yeah, the watchwords, right? Right, and the watchwords were part of, as we say, the full Dr. Eric Williams speech, right? Let's look up the watchwords, Dr. Eric Williams. Okay? Yeah?
Dr. Eric Williams, the first Prime Minister and the father of the nation of Trinidad and Tobago, authored the National Watchword: discipline, production, tolerance.
Right. And it have a part where it breaking it down. What the discipline means. You see that part? Right. I'll just read it if you engage it. Right. We said discipline, and then he talk about the other go down, probably go down a little bit. To see, when you say discipline, discipline, production, and tolerance. You see it? I didn't see that. Right. Right. Let's read, right? It's a discipline, right? The discipline is both individual and national. The individual cannot be allowed to seek his personal interest and gratify his personal ambition at the expense of our nation. This is what the discipline means, right? Here we say, when you say discipline, this is what that discipline is. It's the discipline of both individual and national. The individual cannot be allowed to seek his personal interests and gratify his personal ambition at the expense of our nation. You understand that? Remember, right? Just keep this in mind, right? So at this particular time, right? The predominantly vote is the black vote, right? So now I speaking to who? The black people, right? But now, who involved or who, as we say, is living in this, as we say, the twin island of Trinidad and Tobago? Because remember now, this here, wait, is Daisy what? The watchwords? The watchwords of what? Of Trinidad and Tobago, right? We become, I would say, independence. So, just listening this and the application behind it, right? So this is the discipline, right? We're going to after, right? Listen what production is now. It say we must produce in order to enjoy. Wealth does not drop from the sides of any individual or any nation. Here we say wealth does not drop from the skies, right? From the skies for any individual or any nation. Our tolerances, right? To translate the idea of our national anthem into a code of everyday behavior and to make our nation one in which every creed and race find an equal place. Trinidad and Tobago. There's a question of the application of these watchwords. And does this apply today? That question. Does these watchwords apply today? Because why? It show a clear description of being or joining together. It never worked. It never worked, even to the day. This is why when, as we say, to be disciplined, now everybody suppose you think if this would apply, you think there are brothers on the street corners? You think there are homeless people? None of that would not be. Because now when it says, right, that the discipline is both individual and national, the individual cannot be allowed to seek his own personal interests. You seen that happening here? Go ahead, Sasha. Why you think this as you say, this prime minister shut down independence? What we like to do? What black people like to do? We like to do a party. We like that. That we culture. And when I mean that we culture, not as we say, it's just like we like coming together. And this is why we always tell brothers and sisters, we have high holy days, we have feast days, where, as we say, we are, as we say, how much days party, how much days, this is who we are. But you know where our oppressor understood that if I could lead them or give them this, what would happen? It would work for me for commerce or for business. All this is just business. Independence Day, Republic Day, all the independence, all the free. A lot of people say, now a lot of countries fighting for independence. That just commerce, that just business. We were one out of the many again who, as we say, will probably use to push that narrative or to push that where you fight for independence. But when you check it out now, this is just business. All oppressor holidays are just business, and they are business. On Independence Day, what is the most, as we say, the most, as we say, item that is being sold? Fireworks, right? You feel for some reason them still make the money. They still make the funds. Who running these organizations? Black people are the head of these organizations. This is why, as we say, the curse is in Deuteronomy chapter 28. When you go through it and you see the application, as we say, of what our curse is and how it applies to us today, it's showing we line directly in line with that. And this is why, again, these reminders was always reminded unto us as a people. And in order for us to really come back, we must move away from, as we say, from these customs, right? Right. It's a yes, right. So we see that discipline though really it not really applicable today right now in Trinidad, right? It's the production we must produce in order to enjoy, right? What do they tell black people? Yeah, we say what they say we must produce in order to enjoy, right? So when you go on the plantation, how you had to be? You had to be productive. Who, as we say, owns the plantation? We don't own the plantation. So if we, you know, as we say, the produce was circulating amongst us, what we see, as we see many examples, Black Wall Street, when it was circulating amongst us, everybody was eating. As you say, this family was eating and drinking. Now you pushing this now. So when we go, as we say, go to the slavery, or what does it tell you? If you can't produce, what will happen? Your services wouldn't be needed. What is the code in the industry is what something production. One of them safety first, quality after, and production last or something so, or production and then quality or something so. Something so. We must be reminded daily with all these instructions, all these records, all oppressors, and we will read about it just now again we'll go to our records and we will see when, you know, being under servitude from these other nations, you know, and the Most High God, you know, move their minds where, you know, it gives us the opportunity to rebel or to be independent of our own, on our own. These other nations would always look back to the records and understand anytime we start to come together, they would go, all of a sudden they just pull out the records. You want to know, well, I thought everybody is one. We's one human race. But all of a sudden you pull out the records to show that, hey, these people them, you know, the rebel against kings, the rebel against this whoever, to stand for their own, to be independent. If you lead them and you let them do that, they will rebel against you. This is where these other nations serving under, as we say, it comes less like we say, the people them that serving under white supremacy or under, you know, the as we say, our oppressor. They will always run back to them and say, well, look, like how the ships coming to the Caribbean. Where the East Indian Prime Minister say, if the thing wherever we give full access. All records, whole, our way back of being a family, of being independent. This victory, as we say, that was achieved, our oppressor achieved that. We want to achieve independence, we must turn back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. We must turn back to these instructions at law. This is the only way that Blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians would find favor in the sight of the Lord, right? The next one is tolerance, right? You say to translate the idea of our national anthem into a code of everyday behavior. So right there, what are we to do here? Right? They tolerant pacifier. Rocket to sleep. Oh, we always say every creed and race find an equal place. And may who? And may God bless what? Bless our nation. Then if that was so, white is, as we say, we do, let me say the little intro before the class, where we see you feeding brothers and sisters on the promenade. That is an equal place. That is an equal place. Trinidad and Tobago. That is an equal place. White is, as we say, we see the opposite of one seeking or allowed to seek his personal interests and greatly his personal ambition in the expense of the nation. Why does we continue to see that? We weren't supposed to do that as we say, in these watchwords, and these watchwords stand today. And then let's use these watchwords and let's teach our children when they go to school. And let's teach them these watchwords. Who it applied to? It doesn't apply to everybody. These watchwords is not applied to, as we say, to everybody, as we say, or every race or every ethnicity in Trinidad and Tobago. It only applies to one ethnicity or one race of people, which is the so-called Black people. And I'll talk about this family. This is who it applies to. All these other races are free to, as we say, they're free to enjoy. So this doesn't apply to them. So who they could bring? They could bring down who? The people. The people could come and, as we say, make a formal speech. We need to, as we say, we need as a people, as the scripture says, high time that we wake up out of sleep, right? Let me go to the scriptures. Right, give me Ezra chapter 4 and Bible. Ezra chapter 4 and verse 1 and we talk about the watchwords, right? Where's the motto? Where's the motto?
Together we aspire, together we achieve.
But we're talking independence. It have any togetherness? I no togetherness here. We have Ezra, tiny Bible. Ezra 4, right? So you'll be between Ezra and Nehemiah. Ezra 4, 4 and 1, right? Start at 1.
Ezra chapter 4 and verse 1. Now when the adversaries of Judah and Benjamin heard that the children of the captivity built.
Read 3 and 1, and then we'll come back, right? Read 3 and 1.
Ezra chapter 3 and verse 1. And when the 7th month was come, and the children of Israel were in the cities, the people gathered themselves together as one man to Jerusalem.
As what?
As one man to Jerusalem.
Go ahead.
Verse 2. Then stood up Joshua the son of Josadak and his brethren, the priests, and Zerubbabel, the son of Shetaniel,
right,
and his brethren, and built the altar of the God of Israel, to offer burnt offering thereon, as it is written in the law of Moses, the man of God.
Right. Jump to verse 7. Jump to verse 4.
Ezra chapter 4 and verse 1.
Right.
Now when the adversaries of Judah and Benjamin heard that the children of the captivity built the temple unto the Lord God of Israel.
Right. So now here we say, when the adversaries, right, of Judah and Benjamin, right, and the adversaries is who? These other nations, as we say. And who's these other nations? They are what? Their enemies. Because why? They don't follow, as we say, the customs and traditions of us. But know this, there's a time that is going to come where every nation is going to adhere to these instructions. Every nation. Chinese, the East Indian, all these the white man, you know, the Arabs, all these nations is going to adhere to these instructions. Because why? Our King Yahushua is sitting, as you see, at the right hand of the Most High God, waiting for the instructions to do what? To bring this place to you know, where it's supposed to be under righteous subjection. And this is why these reminders were reminded and were given to who? To the men that is going to stand for this truth, righteous black men, and be able to do what? To remind our brothers, just like we were reminded. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 2. Then they came to Zerubbabel and to the chief of the fathers, and said unto them, Let us build with you, for we seek your God as you do, and we do sacrifice unto him, since the day of Asa Adon, the king of Assyria, which brought us up hither.
Right? Stop right there. Go to, because now remember, all these things were history recorded, where, you know, the king, and I remember what Christ said. He said, go not into the way of the who? Of the Gentiles, neither into the city away at Samaria. Because who was living there at that time? Who living there at that time? Who occupying the land at that time? The heathen and them. This is why he said, don't go in that pathway, right? Go to so we just go and read where these heathens, when they took over, they brought these other nations amongst us. Go to, I'm coming back right here. Go to 2 Kings 17 and 24.
2 Kings chapter 17 and verse 24. And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon and from Qatar and from Ava and from Hamath and from Sephar Avin and placed them in the city of Samaria instead of the children of Israel.
Right? So what we're seeing taking place right now, again, is these heathen them telling who? As you said, the adversaries of Judah and Benjamin, right? The letting them know, hey, since that time, we was here, so we just follow, as you say, as it say, read over verse 2, Ezra 4 and 2, right?
Ezra chapter 4 and verse 2. Then they came to Zerubbabel and to the chief of the fathers and said unto them, let us build with you, for we seek your God as you do, and we do sacrifice unto him since the days of the Asarhaddon, king of Assur, which brought us up hither.
And you remember this Assur, as David said, Assur also is joined with them. They have helped not the children of Lot. He said, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endo. So all these nations join together to do what? To destroy us. Right? Go ahead.
For Ezra chapter 4 and verse 3. But Zerubbabel and Joshua and the rest of the chief of the fathers of Israel said unto them, you have nothing to do with us.
Read that again.
You have nothing to do with us.
So we telling these other nations. We're telling these other nations, say, ye have nothing to do with us. No, when we see this thing here, as we say, with this independence, these other nations recognize that wherever watch woods or wherever this as we say, this brother come up with, right? That nothing to do with we. These watchwords means what? Nothing to us. So now what we telling these heathen and them being, I'd say, in occupation or being occupied in the land. What we going to do, nothing to do with you all. Go ahead.
You have nothing to do with us to build an house unto our God, but we ourselves together will build unto the Lord God of Israel, right, as King Cyrus, the king of Persia, had commanded us.
Right? Because why? The authorization came from the heathen king that, hey, all look at go up and rebuild all the temple. Go ahead.
Verse 4. Then the people of the land weakened the hand of the people of Judah and troubled them in building.
Read on.
Verse 4.
Yes. Read on.
Verse 4? Verse 5.
Yeah. Continue to read on in Ezra.
Verse 5. And hired counselors against them to frustrate their purpose all the days of Cyrus, king of Persia, even until the reign of Darius, king of Persia. Verse 6, and the reign of Assyrius, in the beginning of his reign, wrote they unto him an accusation against the inhabitants of Judah and Jerusalem.
Yes, sir. Let me catch up. Read over 4 and 4.
Ezra chapter 4 and verse 4. Then the people of the land weakened the hands of the people of Judah and troubled them in building.
Right? Go to Nehemiah 6. Six and 16.
Nehemiah chapter 6 and verse 16. And it came to pass that when all our enemies heard thereof, and all the heathens that were about us saw these things, they were much cast down in their own eyes, for they perceived that this work was wrought of our God.
Right. So you see what's going on there? So when go back to Ezra 4 and 4.
Ezra chapter 4 and verse 4. Then the people of the land weakened the hands of the people of Judah and troubled them in building.
Right? Because why? Why the people of the land? Remember now, the heathen and them in the land. And they came to who? To these men and them. Right? And try to do what? Trying to stop the work or trying to join them in the work and tell them, hey, all that nothing to do with me. All that nothing to do with me building. Right? So now when you go to Nehemiah now, you see what it say? Nehemiah 6 and 16. It say, right? And it came to pass that when all our enemies heard thereof, and all the heathen, right? And all the heathen that were about us. Now the heathen them was about us, that was living right amongst us, right? That about us saw these things, that they were much cast down in their own eyes. To see what we was doing is like, nah. These people, nah, right? And it say, for they perceived that this was wrought of our God. Why the perceiving that? Read Ezra. Continue to read on in Ezra.
Ezra chapter 4 and verse 5. And hired counselors against them to frustrate their purpose all the days of Cyrus king of Persia, even unto the reign of Darius king of Persia.
Go ahead. Read on and continue.
Verse 6. And in the reign of Ahasuerus, in the beginning of his reign, wrote they unto him an accusation against the inhabitants of Judah.
So you see what started to take place? Remember now, these heathen and them living amongst us. Right? What black people started to do? Black people started to build. And as they started to build, what the heathen wanted to do? They wanted to join. What black people tell them?
Nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with all you. What we doing here nothing to do with all you. This is why the ISUPK under command in General Yana, they say that we're not affiliated. with no what religious group or organization. We don't, as we say, we don't deal, as we say, no politics. There's no political, as we say, joining or whatever. We don't vote. Plain. Our, as we say, our ballot are already been cast. That is to who? To serve and to follow our King, Yahweh Shai, or which you will know him as Jesus Christ. This is who we follow. The Most High, as we say, the order, the Most High Christ, and as we say, the man at present who the Lord and our King Yahweh Shai acknowledge or recognize right now to raise black people up, which is Commanding General Yan. Right? Continue.
Verse 7. And the days of
Texas
Ruth, Beshlam, Mitarat, Tibel, and the rest of their companions unto.
Right? So it's saying the day of Artaxerxes, right? Ruth, right? So this is any time the reign of this king, right? And you go back in, you go in Nehemiah just now, you read the same thing, right? That they wrote letters, unto the king, unto this king, right? Right? And the companions, go ahead, unto Artaxerxes.
Unto Artaxerxes, king of Persia, and the writing of their letters was written in Syrian.
In the Syrian tongue.
In the Syrian tongue, and interpreted in the Syrian tongue.
Right. So this king was king of Syria. Syrian. Go ahead.
Verse 8. Rehum, the counselor, Shammashai, the scribe, wrote a letter against Jerusalem to Artaxerxes, the king, in this sort. Verse 9. Then wrote Rehum, the counselor, and Shammashai, the scribe, and the rest of their companion, the Dianates, the Apharsatites, the Tarapites, the Aphasites, and the Achivasites, and the Babylonians, the Sushanites, and the Dahavites, and the Elamites.
So all of them. We say Psalms 3, for they are conspired, against us. This as you see, they come together in one consent, right? They confederate against who? Against us, and it's how to name them out. So you see now all of them sit down, and this is go ahead. This is where the right. Go ahead.
Verse 10. And the rest of the nations whom the great and noble Asanapa brought over and set in the cities of Samaria, and the rest that are on this side the river, and at such a time. Verse 11. This is the copy of the letter that they sent unto him, even unto Artaxerxes, the king, thy servant, the men on this side the river, and on such a time. Verse 12. Be it known unto the king that the Jews which came up from thee to us are come unto Jerusalem, building the rebellious and the bad city, and have set up the walls thereof, and joined the foundations.
So they go ahead.
Verse 11. Be it known now unto the king that if this city be built and the walls set up again, then will they not pay tolls, tribute, and customs, and so thou shalt endamage the revenue of kings.
Read, you see that part? keep in mind and highlight that part. Remember now, if we come together, right? How these other nations know this. They know this. They know this. Their duty and their job is to do what? Is to keep us from knowing who we are. So all these letters and them that have been wrote or being, as we say, is to do what? It's to remind them, hey, don't forget them, innit? It have a time that you might be so busy in your work that you forget who them is, or you forget who black people is, or if black people come together, well, you know what happen? They'll stop what? They'll stop your commerce, they'll stop your commerce, because now remember now we supplying you. Them must be what? We read about tolerance. The discipline what? Discipline, I can't remember.
Whoever they achieve, it mustn't whoever achieve one person that they achieve, it
everybody
mustn't affect it mustn't affect the nation. So yeah, so right to the scripture.
So you see what's going on, right? Go ahead.
Verse 14. Now because we have maintenance from the king palace, and it was not meet for us to see the king's dishonor, therefore have we sent and certified the king.
Yeah, you hear what I say? No, because we have maintenance from the king. So now king meeting the needs, them meeting the king needs. Now we have a problem. They can stop this maintenance. Go ahead.
Verse 15. That search may be made in the book of the records of thy fathers. So shalt thou find in the book of the records, and know that this city is a rebellious city, and hurtful unto kings and provinces that they have moved seditions within the same of the old times, for which cause was the city destroyed.
So because this city stand, right? It caused many what? Many it have moved, and they have moved sedition within the same of old. So now when black people standing is a problem. This is why the scriptures call us what? Salt of the earth. Without us being amongst them, as we say, the wind tribe. When Columbus leave in, as we say, in 14 wherever, and as we say, he sailed wherever and come across here. We say he was looking for gold. You know who the gold was? His family. Because now imagine us, as we say, the native, we bathing, as we say, that mean nothing. We understand, hey, there's not a God. But they will worship what? That why again all records say nothing wrong with having money, you know. But you see when they make it a God, you say for the love of it, that is our God. This is why we don't celebrate birthdays. This is why we don't celebrate Christmas. This is why we don't celebrate Easter. This is why we don't celebrate, as we say, these as our oppressors' holidays. Because why? You're worshiping him on that day. And in the commandment, it said, don't worship no other God beside me. Go ahead.
Verse 16. we certify the king that if this city be built again and the walls thereof set up, by this means thou shalt have no portion on this side the river.
So one time, as I said, the inciting one, the inciting, as you say, or enlightening to line way. If this build up, you have no party, you have nothing to get. Go ahead.
Ezra chapter 4 and verse 17. Then sent the king and answered unto Rehum the counselor, and to Shimshai the scribe, and to the rest of their companions that dwell in Samaria, and unto the rest beyond the river, peace. And at that such a time, verse 18, the letter which you sent unto us had been plainly read before me. Verse 19, and I command, and search had been made, and it is found that this city of old times had made insurrection against king, and that rebellion and sedition have been made therein.
So why it is now? They again, this is why when they go back and you read and they say that how the Most High God, he didn't choose us because we were few in number. But again, and these other nations, I think it's in Deuteronomy chapter 7, we say that how he bring before us many nations more greater and mightier than us, and then he lists them out. It had a purpose because the Most High God, would always demonstrate, and therefore, this is why they could have say higher up. I wouldn't read, we're going near man, you'll read probably similar. That if they go with them, or they don't go up against them. If they're not with them, how our God will be with us. Eh? How do you think our God will be with us?
They break any laws.
That's right. And their duty is to do what? To keep us what?
Break any laws.
And separated from each other. As long as this family, that why say it say that how a family divided, it can't stand. So by them keeping us separate, they would enjoy or really benefit. But hear this, the Most High God always had, I always had like that word remnant. He always had, because now his reputation would always stand. He would narrow down. He narrow down. That's why I say he do what? The same thing he doing. He say that how he raised up Pharaoh in that time to do what? To demonstrate or show his power in the earth. So don't just watch this and take this slide. This is a reminder for brothers and sisters. This is why I would say, tell brothers, I said, they not force on nobody. We're not being forcing nobody to come to class or to come, but just by the fact how this is a family. We have a family issue in mind, and brothers and sisters, we encourage them and tell them, hey, here is the place to be. Come and learn your family history, learn your family records. Don't shy away from it. Don't run away from it. Because you running away from it now, as we say again, when I say, because it didn't knock on your door, you feel okay, but it didn't knock on your door. That time might be too late. And we say, Lord forbid that. Still being a brother in any situation. We see Moses demonstrate that at the highest level. When the nation rebelled against the Most High, Men conspire, rich men conspire to do what? To overthrow or let Moses know who make you roll over away. And upon the destruction of these men and them, the nation started to do what? Murmur. And in murmuring with the Lord, we say the Lord anger waxed hot. And he started to do what? He started unalive from our broadside. Moses had to tell Aaron, hey, Aaron, get the sense. Like, hey, throw some prayers up. Send up prayers. We have to remember all these things is things that again be reminded unto us. This family, this house, continue.
Verse
20, yeah.
Yeah, verse 20.
Go ahead.
Ezra chapter 4 and verse 20. There have been mighty kings also over Jerusalem, which have ruled over all countries beyond the river, and toll, tribute, and customs was paid unto them. Verse 21. Give you now commandments to cause these men to cease, and that this city be not built until another commandment shall be given from me.
You think that they know about Solomon? You think that they know? You think when Sheba went to Solomon to seek out wisdom, where she pay unto Solomon? Tribute. You feel these other nations didn't know that? But their duty again is to stop us. This is why now they as I said, this whole independence thing it is victory on their behalf. I watched a little clip where it showed that they had some little fireworks, I think it's in one of them savannah. And when you see them East Indian come up here, you know, like the car contained the cell, but they didn't get order. Well, I see, look at that. Because again, they don't like to see what black people come together. If they're not apartheid, and still they being apart, they won't understand the vibe, the whole vibe. This is why we say no heathen is allowed amongst what? Amongst the congregation. The Lord tell one of the brother who send the javelin through the next brother and the heathen, say, where do you just stop a plague in Israel? Laying a heathen come in here is a plague. It could cause what? Disruption, confusion. That is a plague. Right? Time no, right? So we might do a second little part on this as well, right? Because how the time run up, right? And you continue with your thing. Go ahead. But this is a reminder for us, right? Go ahead.
Ezra chapter 4 and verse 22. Take heed now that you fall not to do this. Why should damage grow to hurt of the kings?
You hear that? Go ahead.
Verse 23. Now, when the copy of the king of Artaxerxes' let was read before Rehum and Shemashai, the scribe of their companion, they went up in haste to Jerusalem unto the Jews and made them to seize by force and power.
What they make them to do? To seize by what?
Force and power.
All right, go ahead.
Verse 24. then seized the works of the house of God, which is at Jerusalem. So it ceased unto the 2nd year of the reign of Darius, king of Persia.
Right. So now the work ceased, right? Go to Nehemiah 6, right? 6 and 1, right? You that this last couple of verses. 6 and 1. Right? All this when that happened, right? The temple was rebuilt, right? That's all, eh? Read Nehemiah 1. So, 2 and 1, right? Read Nehemiah 2 and 1, 1 and 2.
What, Nehemiah 2 and 1?
Yeah, Nehemiah chapter 2 and verse 1.
Nehemiah chapter 2 and verse 1. And it came to pass in the month of Nisan, in the 20th year of Artaxerxes the king, that wine was before him, and took up the wine and gave it unto the king. Now I had not been before time sad in his presence.
Right? So remember Nehemiah was, as you say, serving, as you say, just like as you say, the one of the king's guard, right? Go ahead.
Verse 2. Wherefore the king said unto me, Why is thy countenance sad, seeing that thou art not sick? This is nothing else but sorrow of heart, that I was very sore afraid.
Go ahead.
Verse 3. And said unto the king, Let the king live forever. Why should not my countenance be sad, when the city, the place of my fathers, sepulchres, lieth waste, and the gates thereof are consumed with fire?
So they Nehemiah telling the king, right? Jump to verse 6. Continue to read on. Read on to verse 6. Read 4.
The
2 and 4. Continue to 2 and 4.
2 and 4.
Yeah.
Nehemiah chapter 2 and verse 4. Then the king said unto me, For what dost thou make requests? So I pray to the God of heaven. Verse 5. And I said unto the king, If it please the king, and if thy servant have found favor in thy sight, that thou wouldest send me unto Judah, unto the city of my fathers, sepulchres, that I may build it.
You remember who use that same line? Esther. Remember she used that same line when she went before, if I found favor in the sight of the king, let this thing where this man want to destroy my people. He used the same line. That's why I say pray. That I say pray before, because now that our part we say that we're going to go before judges. We're going to, the words that we're going to is now we own words. That's why we speak not that we own, but we speak was as a family, because now we understand the concept of what it means to be a family. We're not talking this how we own. We're not saying no, as we say on these tables and inside or telling people, hey, we speaking as a family, because now we family facing the situation. Why a countenance so in this way? Because why? This is what happened to we family. Go ahead.
Verse 6?
Yeah, verse 6.
Nehemiah chapter 2 and verse 6. And the king said unto me, the queen also sitteth by him.
Right, so the queen in the presence, I am right, go ahead.
For how long shall thy journey be? And when will thou return?
This song is just like in the time of Pharaoh. It tell you, I have too much time on the eye. How long? Go ahead.
So it pleased the king to send me, and I set him a time.
So now, just like again, just like how we with any, any where that we have, as we say, we don't break, as we say, the laws are their laws. We don't break their, as we say, their ways. What we do, we know how to, as we say, how to work with it. So they in charge. What we do, we understand what we're going through, right? So we will stop right there. So this is a reminder for brothers and sisters, right? So the whole understanding or what we should really grasp from this, that Independence Day, right? A victory achieved, our oppressor achieved a great victory. And in his victory, we could achieve that victory by coming back to these instructions. We could achieve that independence by coming back and following, as you say, be with your brother, being that body, being that family. Like what require us as a nation. These sons, these 12 tribes, have come back to these instructions. This is why, as we say, he have his business running, as we say, at not a loss. He could shut it down. He could shut down his business at any time that he wants and open it back up. In loss, as we say, we know the biggest, as we say, business that will be done, as we say, that fireworks. He owned that fireworks, as we say. Our oppressor owned that. So if that day, he know how to get pay off at some other time. But the whole history behind independence now is that you coming together, it will always be a problem. You building, it will always be a problem. And the problem is that if they do have a hand in it, just as what we see there, they will have issues with it. This is why they know the history of independence. This family now, as you say, coming together, they will always have a problem. These other nations, these other, as you say, these other races of people, Chinese, Indians, all oppressed are the white man. As you say, the earth oppressed. These are reminders unto us as a family, right? And again, this is a reminder, right? We have as you say, the upcoming high holiday, which is what the Feast of what?
Tabernacle.
Feast of Tabernacles. Again, the officer will go bring it out to the announcement. It's a reminder. Join us or come down to the school, right? The information coming across the street, Morris Street, Point 14, the location, right? Come down to the school, right? This is a reminder to this house, to this family, right? That we should come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments, come back to these instructions, right? And with that, pass the class, the priest and officer Shah. Go ahead.
Security announcement. We had the ISUPK out of 122th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are here to be suited only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if your brother or sister has an interest in a peculiar person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to another brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which a brother or sister will court each other. After the 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry, tithe, which is the commandment. You can find this in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 to 10. Means 10th in Hebrew as pronounced Maishara, 10% of every penny increase the Lord give you, go through the treasury department or teacher priest fund. Free will offering for priests, non-mandatory, whatever amount you like to give. Upcoming holy convocation. That will be the memorial blowing of trumpets. That will be the first day of the 7th month. That will be Sunday, the 21st of September, 2025. You can find this in Leviticus chapter 23, verse 24 to verse 25. Remind your accounts and watch them to check on social media such as ISPK, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISP events and material. If your brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then you start wearing all black, which includes black boots, like shirt, like pants, like headband or scarf. With that we say, imagine, sir, Panrakadam, rise and face east. We're going to say Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Wadash, Ayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Lagwaka, Taba'a, Atizaka, Ayah, Aisha, Aratiza, Kawa, Ayah, Bashamayim, Natan, Lanawa, Lakam, Kal, Yawam, Basalak Noah, Abuwaki Noah, Asalak Noah, Kabuwaki Noah, Ola, Tabia Noah, Basawan, Abol, Oshai Noah, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Waala, Wataparat, Ailomium, Aman.
What we just said here in English, our Father,
which art
in
in heaven,
be thy name.
and be thy name.
Yahweh, thy kingdom come,
thy kingdom
thy
come,
will be done,
thy will be done
in earth,
as
it is in heaven. Give us this day, our daily bread, forgive us our debts, forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it.
Sir, let's get a teacher one Kuzilut, Imagine Shabbat, Imagine, Barak, Yahweh Basim Cyberkatom, and Mata. Sir, let's tune and face the sisters online, get them one Kuzilut, Imagine Shabbat, Imagine, Barak, Yahweh Shemaraton, Bashim Yoshai, Yan Mata, class dismissed.